I've made it known that the Steelers Almighty channel and we are not accepting anything less than a top 5 defense from the highest paid defense in the National Football League. We're not going to accept number 6. We're not going to accept number 7. And I don't care if it's by 0.002 of a percentage point. We're not accepting it. Top 5 or better. That's it. I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to hear about if, ands, or buts. We are paying 170, depending on what report you see. I've seen 178. I've seen 176. Let's just call it, and we'll say 176. We'll be on the conservative side. We're paying that, and we are far and away the highest paid defense in the league, people. Far and away the highest paid defense in the league. Second highest paid defense is the Giants at 152. And the Colts and the Bears are tied for third at 144. Look, it's that big of a difference. Now, look, I understand why the Steelers are doing this because, again, they're in a rebuild mode. All right. And they've decided that they're going to rebuild in the trenches. And they started on the offensive line. Some start on the D line. We started on the offensive line. 4 of the 5 starters are second or third year contracts. You can't pay those guys a bunch of money. Okay. Because eventually, if any of those guys are good, especially tackles, you're going to be paying those guys a lot. But right now, they're on rookie deals. So you're not paying them. And I mean, you're not going to just get rid of a rookie deal just so you can say you're paying somebody. That's not how you do it. So they don't have linemen to pay just yet. Okay, great. You start looking at the defensive side of the ball. They went young this year. They had to get younger, stronger, bigger, more athletic. They did that. But you're not really paying anybody on the offense except for one guy. You're paying DK Metcalf, and everybody else, it's not so much. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is what? 13, can be up to $19 million. He's not making a ton. We already talked about Isaac. I mean, there's just Pat Freiermuth at 12. So they're not paying anybody a crazy amount of money. And that's where the difference is. So, but then you look at the league and what the league has done. And the league, the highest paid offenses, you want to flip and say, okay, well, the Steelers are this. And you look at those teams and you're like, well, other than the Steelers, who made the playoffs? The Giants sure didn't. They stink. The Colts didn't. And the Bears stunk. Okay. Those are the highest paid defense in the league. Then you flip it to offense. Who are the highest paid offenses in the league? The Chiefs, the Falcons, the Bengals, Rams, Lions. I mean, there you go. So it's and I understand a lot of that is quarterback, especially with the Falcons because they're paying our man Kirk Cousins, and they drafted a guy, so they're paying 2. But okay, fine. And so those teams are good. The teams that are paying defenses aren't, but the Steelers just aren't in a position yet to do that. Like they're not paying a quarterback $50 million. You know, they're not paying a running back 12. They're not even paying a second wide receiver $8 million. You know, we're not doing those things yet. So, and while the teams that I just mentioned aren't in the top 5 in the league as far as minus the Lions, as far as the best offenses, those are some of the best teams, you know, and just, I don't know. That's the difference, man. That is the difference. And the league is starting to shift to pay offense because it's an offensive league. My best example is the Eagles. And I like to bring the Eagles up as a perfect example. The Eagles have decided, and it's a good thing, is that, you know what? We're going to spend a ton of money on offense. We're paying a quarterback, 2 wide receivers, running back, 4 of the 5 offensive linemen. We're paying all of that. On defense, we'll pay a couple of guys, but for the most part, we're going to churn and burn. We are going to use draft picks. We're going to get draft capital. We're going to draft well. But when their rookie deals are up, we're going to ship those guys out and we're going to draft new guys. That's what the Eagles have decided to do. Now, the difference is that they've hit on a couple of their defensive players, man. You know, the Jalen Carters of the world, even Jordan Davises of the world. You know, they've hit Quinyon Mitchell's of the world. They've hit on these draft picks. Well, the Steelers got to do that. But the Eagles went young on defense, and it's paying off. The Steelers have gone old on defense, but it's not paying off on the offensive side of the ball. That's got to change. But that's the difference between the two. Is that, and the Eagles are going to keep doing that. And again, they'll keep Jalen Carter. They're not letting him get away, but they let defensive ends get away. They've done that. And what do? They just keep drafting more, and they keep drafting more. And they've done the same thing in the secondary. They let guys go. They keep drafting more. And they've decided that the Chiefs have kind of done the same thing. Is that, yes, we're going to get the secondary. We're just going to keep shuffling guys in. Now, if there's a guy, that we got to have, they'll keep him, but they're not keeping 5 guys and paying 5 guys $15+ million on defense. The Eagles aren't going to do that. The Chiefs aren't going to do that. These teams, they've decided it's an offensive league. We're going offense. The Steelers just aren't in position to do that yet, but you got to pay somebody. And that's why they do it. Having said all of that, that's a long-winded, long way around of me saying, I don't give a damn. If we're paying these guys this type of money, I need this type of result. I need a top 5 defense. Big D, you just gave me a whole bunch of fluff on why other teams are doing a bunch of other stuff. All that's fine. I don't care, and you're exactly right, because I don't care. I need a top 5 defense, and I'm not settling for anything other than that. Period. End of story. And not to mention, screw how much somebody's being paid. The players that the Steelers actually have on their defense, take the dollar amount out. Shouldn't it be a top 5 defense? I mean, if you're just looking at the players, shouldn't it be that? TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Alex Highsmith, Derek Harmon, Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Joey Porter Jr. I mean, come on. Shouldn't that be a top 5 defense? Not to mention the depth that we have in the secondary. I didn't even mention Deshaun Elliott. Come on. That's got to be one. Now you throw the money into it. It better be. It better be. Scheme be damned, people. I don't care. We can hate Mike Tomlin's scheme all we want. Top 5 defense. Period. End of story. Don't want to hear any excuses. Not settling for anything less. Nothing less. Let's get to the poll, people. Let's get to the daggone poll. You done pissed me off. What impact do you believe DK Metcalf will have on the Steelers' offense this season? Game changer. Significantly improve the passing game. B, solid contributor and add value, but won't be the leading receiver. C, minimal impact, transition, may take time, and other players will shine. Or D, doubtful. I'm skeptical about his performance based on past issues. Make sure you put a 4 in front of your answer so we know exactly what poll question you're answering. Look, I'm bullish on this top 5 defense thing for a reason. If the Steelers are going to get to where they want to go, the offense is going to struggle probably a little bit early. It'll catch up. It'll get better as the season goes on. But the defense has to, just like early, it has to keep us in games. But what the offense does have to do, it has to play complementary football. I'm not saying you got to go out there and score 30 points a week. I'm not saying that. But if you do, or if you scored 27, 28, then the defense we should win or be right in every single game. But the offense can't have 4 out of 5 first 5 drives going 3 and out. Can't have that. There was too much of that. It's been too much of that over the last 3 years. Too many 3 and outs. Starting the game, not being able to move the football. How many times at halftime did we look up the Steelers got like 87 yards in total offense at the half. I'm like, that can't happen. Defense is wearing down. And that's what happened last year. They just got worn down. Can't happen this year. Complementary football is big, and you have to do your part, offense. Yes, the defense needs to be top 5, but they need help, and you got to help them. Period. End of story. And if you do, the Steelers are going to be okay. I'm not saying they're going undefeated, but they're going to be okay. So the optimism and all that stuff, I'm always overly optimistic until I see something that tells me not to be. And that means real football games. When I see it and we can't do it, I'll be the first person to say so. But if I don't see it and I see good stuff, I'm going to continue on that optimism train because that's just who I am, man. I tell it like it is down the line until I'm proven wrong. Period. End of story. That hopefully anything that I say that's been bad, for instance, about Broderick, hopefully he proves me wrong. Go out there and be great, young man. You got the tools. Now it's time to get the attitude to go with it. Go be great. So appreciate you guys, man. Thank you as always for showing up and showing out. Remember, everybody, to like, follow, subscribe, continues to get in those comments section, and always hit the notification bell so you know exactly when Steelers Almighty content comes out. Until next time, aloha.